Is Haason Reddick asking for a trade? Is he not asking for a trade? What's going on? I think this is a situation where the mass media, we just kind of jumped the gun on that one. And I say we because I said it too. Like, why is Haason Reddick looking to get out of Philly? This is his home. It must be something he doesn't like. A change in mind about the new regime with all new coaches coming in. Maybe he just didn't want to deal with that. That's what I thought. But when you go back and you look at the initial article and what it says, the Eagles grant Haason Reddick permission to seek a trade. Never said he wanted one. And that is a business move. So I was partially correct in my analysis of saying that this was a business move by Howie Roseman to test the market. It's going to be definitely some teams out there that are interested in Haason Reddick, so they want to see what the price tag is going to be. Once the Eagles figure out what that is, then if they want to keep him, they know what the price is, and they can try to wheel and deal to see if they can get a deal done. And let me be honest with you. As much as I want to keep Haason Reddick, that makes perfect sense. That is the price of doing business. He even says it in his tweet, never asked for a trade. However, I do understand it's a business, preparing for whatever is next. So, no, he doesn't want to go anywhere. But if he wants to get his bag, and he's worth it, he's earned it. I said the same thing last year about Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders was 5th in the league in rushing, and DeAndre Swift is 3 this year. So Miles Sanders had the same question posed to him. Was he going to get his bag or did he want to stay and win? He went and got his bag. He didn't get many wins in Carolina. So that's the risk you take. But Haason Reddick has came out and said he doesn't want to go. He wants to stay home, and I think he should. But the business side says he's, 28, about to be 29? We have had pretty good luck with veterans. Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. We have had good luck with our true veteran core on the Eagles. All of them has continued to play at a high level. But obviously GMs don't want to take that risk because for every time you get a BG or a Fletcher Cox, you're going to get James Bradbury on the other side of that. There is definitely a risk and reward. And again, this is the price of doing business. But this is a situation where I'm going to say I'm going to trust Howie Roseman on this one. Because this is what he does, and this is what he does best. This is what he's good at. And I'll say it again. His batting average, 2016 to now, has been pretty good. So you got to let him figure it out. He's the kind of person that can take a couple of 5th and 6th round picks, and before you know it, he done traded those 2 picks, a cheesesteak and a brand new pen, and he's got you a 2nd or a 1st round pick. He's good at doing stuff like that, and I don't expect this offseason to be any different. He's going to be on his grind already because we've got so much ground to make up on defense, which is another reason why I don't want to see Haason Reddick go. If Haason Reddick goes, that means we got Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, and Nolan Smith. Is Nolan Smith going to pick up that slack? Can we get at least 6 or 7 sacks out of Nolan Smith, let alone 11? Those are big shoes to fill. Is Nolan Smith ready for that? I don't want to see Haason Reddick go, but this is the business part of the game, and offseason is going to be like this. You look at all of these coaches that's going back and forth to different teams. It's not going to stop, and it's going to get worse when the combine hits because everybody's still jockeying for Caleb Williams. You don't know what he's going to do. What is Chicago going to do? Are they going to trade a pick? Because if Chicago trades their pick, that could cause a whole nother domino effect of deals and traded picks, and everything could just kind of go downhill. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't want to see Haason Reddick go. If somebody else gives him a great deal, I've been hearing rumors about Atlanta is interested in him. But then again, do you want to go somewhere to get the bag, or do you want to stay somewhere and win some games? We're still in our window. I still expect the Eagles to reload and get the defense at least playing adequately and getting us back into the playoffs. Once you get to the playoffs, everybody's got a shot. So is he willing to go get the bag? Could he take a little bit less here? Because once Howie finds out what that market is. If the market is 20 million, or if let's say the market is 30 million, can he back it up to 25 with some extra incentives? And is Haason Reddick going to want to give a hometown discount? I don't know. That seems to be the thing to do with the quarterbacks, because the quarterbacks, they're getting these big contracts and they're getting creative on how to bring down that cap space so they can still sign other players. You see Patrick Mahomes is doing that now after he just won another Super Bowl. They're trying to restructure his contract and still find a way to keep him happy, to have enough money to get all of the players that we need to continue to go back to the playoffs and make this dynasty run. Kansas City is a dynasty now. Period. So we still got our window open, but we got to keep some good players on defense. We know it's going to be a lot of retooling. We got good young players in the secondary. We got good safeties. They're going to have to try to find a creative way to get rid of Bradbury. I don't know what's going to happen with that because he's owed a lot of money. But when they signed him, I thought it was a good signing. Nobody expected him to fall off the cliff like he did. I think Slay is still going to be good, and that's a good veteran presence on our defense. We got enough young people now. We got Kelly Ringo. We got Sidney Brown. We got Reed Blankenship. We got youth in our secondary, and they are good. Linebackers is the situation. Zach Cunningham might stick around. I think he's earned it. A lot of people don't like him. I do. I don't think he's quite as good as Kazir White was, but I think he's close enough. And getting another linebacker in there, I don't know what Vic Fangio's flavor of the month is. I don't know if has he seen enough tape of Nakobe Dean? Is there enough tape of Nakobe Dean? Are we going to have to get somebody in the draft or free agency? So that remains to be seen. But the linebacker position is the most important, in my opinion, because they're the quarterback on the defense, and we got to get that right, especially with the type of defense he's going to be running. We got to have good linebackers. We got to have good safety. There's still a lot of things that can go. There's still a lot of moves to be made, and everything is still going to be in flux until we get past the combine. Once we get past the combine, everybody's going to be starting to maneuver and get their positioning, and you're going to hear all this subterfuge and putting out stories and, somebody didn't do well, test well or something at the combine, all that kind of nonsense. They're just trying to throw fakes on people so they can disguise what they really want to do. But ain't no secret what we got to do. We need linebackers. Maybe they'll get a number 3 receiver to put in that slot. There's a lot of different ways we can go, but as of right now, I'm hoping that there somehow, some way we can find a way to get Haason Reddick back. He's a good voice on the team. He's good in the community. Period. That's all we need. He's still getting double-digit sacks. He kind of fell off towards the end of the year, but so did everybody else. That was a complete, total defense failure. And I'm hoping Vic Fangio can find the value in a player like that. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. I think our players on defense are better than Miami's, or at least as good. So having said that, can we at least get in the top 15 in defense? If we can at least do that, that's a huge improvement. All we got to do is get middle of the pack. If we can get anywhere between 16 and 20, that is a huge improvement from what we just did this past season. And then whatever Kellen Moore is going to do, we'll see. But we got to find a way to keep Haason Reddick. We need that type of player on the team. And if we don't, we better have somebody that can back up that production. Whoever you bring in, they better be close to that production, or it's going to be a failure. We got a lot of time for the combine, but things are ramping up, mock drafts and things of that nature. So it's on the move and it's coming. This is the first week where we don't have football. Now we're hearing the stories of why things happened during the season, why coaches did what they did. Now we're hearing some stories come out. We heard the story today about Jalen Carter when they played San Francisco and what the dude said to him about his friend that passed away. Different stuff like that. All of these stories are starting to come out. We're starting to hear what we wanted to hear during the season. So we'll see how it's going to work out. We've got a long way to go and a lot of things we still have to do. All right, so we'll see what's going to happen. Go Birds.